Cougar Sports Saturday.
It's complete. Another touchdown!
Cougar Sports Saturday. A presentation of KSL Sports.
Left wing for three. He got it again!
BYU Sports Talk by Cougar fans for Cougar fans. Here are your hosts, Mitch Harper and Matt Baiamonte. On Utah's legacy home of the Cougars. KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Hour number 2 is off and running here on Cougar Sports Saturday, June 22nd. Big weekend for BYU football. You're probably wondering, why is that? Well, it's recruiting weekend. It's interesting. Years ago, recruiting, the big official visit weekends used to take place in January. You get them to the basketball game. Hey, Manti Te'o's here at the basketball game. You know, that's when recruiting, the official visit weekends were huge. Now, in this era where signing day is that first Wednesday in December now, it's in the summer. Because once you get to the end of July, it's fall camp and away you go with the season and working with everything you got to do in a 12-game schedule. So these are the types of weekends that are huge for BYU football and recruiting in general. And the Cougars last night, Matt, they got a huge commitment. LaMason Waller, composite 4-star recruit, wide receiver. He commits to BYU. A long list of offers, 40-plus scholarship offers, a nice addition. We're efforting him on the phone line right now, but an important win on the recruiting trail for BYU football.
Yeah, huge win on the recruiting trail. And these are the type of recruiting headlines that I really like. Transfer portal additions are big too, but I still think you have to have a presence at the high school level. You have to be bringing in high school talent, and this is exactly the type of addition that this football program needs going into the future, and it also makes you feel really good about the future of the wide receiver group, because I love this year's wide receiver group. I think there's a lot of talent there. Darius Lassiter, Keelan Marion, Chase Roberts, Cody Epps. There's a lot of talent. And you can make a case that from top to bottom, this is the strongest wide receiver group on the football team. And now going into the future, that can continue to be a top position group on the team.
Let's get out to the phone line now and welcome in the newest addition to BYU football's 2025 recruiting class. BYU football commit LaMason Waller joins us live here on Cougar Sports Saturday. Mitch Harper, Matt Baiamonte. LaMason, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, my guy. What's going on?
Hey, not too much. It's a lot better now that we're joined by you. And I know Cougar Nation was pretty excited for your commitment last night. Take us through the reaction after you made that commitment to BYU and the response you got from your inner circle and the people close to you.
My parents were really happy. They were just proud of me. They love the place. They love the environment. And Coach Kalani, Coach Fessy, all the guys at Juice Stud, they're pumped up. And we're all just excited.
You've got 40-plus scholarship offers, LaMason. I mean, the who's who in college football have recruited you. Why BYU? Was it about those relationships with Coach Fessy and Kalani or something more?
It was really just Fessy and Kalani and, the people in the program. I don't really care about the logos. I care about the relationship I got with the coaching staff, and ultimately this is the best one I had, and this is the best place for me.
LaMason, was there a specific moment where you felt like, okay, I know now that this is where I want to be? What, if and when, what was that moment?
Just everything, honestly. Just the whole atmosphere, the whole layout, and they keep it so real. Everything is genuine. I'm literally still in my OB right now. I'm at a barbecue right now, and everything's just so surreal.
What's an official visit like at BYU? What goes on?
It's amazing. I can't even explain it. You have to come figure out yourself. You can't even put it into words.
I know that one thing I always hear about these official visits is that the food is good, and you're at a barbecue right now. How's the food been?
The food been amazing. It's been amazing. They keep feeding me. I'm going to be big.
Well, let me ask you this, LaMason. For people that haven't seen your huddle, your highlight films, and, I mean, you've had well over 3,000 all-purpose yards in your high school career, and you still got a year to go. What type of player are you, and what is BYU getting with you on board for this 2025 class?
I'm a long receiver. I'm a deep threat. I can go get the ball wherever you put it. I can run routes too, and I'm physical and I can block. I'm just an all-around receiver. I can do everything well. So think I'm just a very balanced player, and that's what attracts me that's what attracts a lot of coaches to me, if that makes sense.
Who were some of the players that have been hosting you this weekend?
Noah Lugo, Chase Roberts, everybody. Jackson, Reiner. I'm just locked in with all the guys. We just been hanging out. Keeley, everyone. So it's been really cool.
What's impressed you about the facilities, the stadium? What do you make of LaVell Edwards Stadium?
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. Just the vibe here is different. That's what I'll say. And it's beautiful.
Did you need any answers, cleared up for you this weekend during this official visit before you committed?
No. I like I said, Fessie's a genuine guy, so I've been knowing everything. I just really want to get up close and see it and really just feel it. And when I felt it, I knew.
Well, LaMason, congrats on your commitment. We'll let you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy the barbecue. Cougar fans will be paying a lot more attention to your high school senior season at Sultana this year. Best of luck, and we look forward to covering your time at BYU.
No doubt, and actually I'm at Oak Hills now. So
Oak Hills, that's right.
No more Sultana. Yeah.
Okay, we'll be following along at Oak Hill then.
All right, my guy, I appreciate you.
Hey, thanks, LaMason. That's LaMason Waller, 4-star recruit, newest addition to the BYU football 2025 recruiting class, and he's all ball. He's not worried about all the thrills of logos. He's wanting to go to the right fit. And BYU, I think for him, is a good fit because, you just kind of look ahead, the pipeline of sorts.
Yep.
He brings up Chase Roberts as one of the hosts on his official visit this weekend. Chase Roberts could leave after this year. This is his 4th year with the BYU program. He's got another year of eligibility remaining, but Cody Epps is in his 5th year. Keelan Marion, he's got another year of eligibility. Darius Laster, this will be his final year.
Yep.
It's going to be a young nucleus next season, potentially in 2025 for the wide receivers. He could step in and be in the mix with JoJo Phillips, Cody Hagan, Dom McKenzie, Tay Nakua. Really good personnel.
That's a nice group down the road. They got to prove themselves, right? But just based off film, based off competing scholarship offers, based on abilities, that's a really nice group. Because there's been other years, Mitch, where you kind of look down the road and you're wondering who's coming in from the transfer portal. Who do they need to reach out to at the high school ranks to keep that pipeline going? Fessie's done a phenomenal job at BYU of bringing in really, really great talent. This wide receiver group, man, for a long, long time, they've been very productive, but they have been, for lack of a better term, not the most talented group in college football.
Yes.
Right? And look, they've got the most out of that talent. But the Austin Collies, the Cody Hoffmans, you weren't stacked with those dudes in the room. You just weren't. And now I think Fessie and this coaching staff have really put together a really diverse, in terms of skill set, group. You got the shifty Cody Epps, the Parker Kingstons. You got the Lassiters, the Roberts. And looking into the future, there's a wide variety of skill sets in that group going forward. So this is a really important addition to keep the talent going in the wide receiver room.
Tim McTire, former BYU defensive back, he had a role with LaMason Waller, kind of connected with him, brought some kind of awareness to BYU and kind of connected that. And, it's just a good addition, I think, for BYU. And look, I think Fessie Sitake has done an excellent job in accumulating talent at that wide receiver position, so it's always stocked. Because, again, after this year, he feels that this season could be the deepest he's ever had, but after this year, it could be a little bit light if some guys move on and decide to, hey, I've been around here too long, I've served a mission. You never know with guys anymore, but, he's continuing to replenish the talent. And I think, honestly, the 2025 recruiting class for BYU is pretty solid right now. And I know Cougar fans look at it on paper, and if you go to 24/7 Sports, their composite, they've got a lot of 3-star ratings on the list. And you go, can you win a Big 12 title with that? Honestly, you can. In the Big 12 without Texas and Oklahoma, there's no program that consistently hauls in 5-star talent. UCF's going to be a threat. And I honestly think people don't realize they could potentially, because of their geography, the location, the radius they have to top 100 talent, they could be a real threat to becoming that gold standard recruiter in this league. Texas Tech as well is recruiting at a high level. But if you're consistently a top 40 recruiter, that to me is the baseline that you have to annually be at to be in the hunt to say you have a chance to be a Big 12 title contender. Because I feel like the depth in BYU's program is getting better. I just think that right now they don't have the top-end talent. And for someone like a LaMason Waller, who's going to be throwing him the rock? That's a question, too. Because if BYU had clarity at the quarterback position, I think you feel a lot better about this program right now. And you'd feel a lot better about the future outlook. But because of the uncertainty at quarterback and a losing record last year, it's left people thinking, these 3 stars aren't enough. No, I think that this class is pretty good. It's got room to grow, and I think that LaMason Waller gives a little more star power punch to this class.
Coming to quarterbacks, though, it's kind of unbelievable the position BYU is in the quarterback room on the recruiting trail. And that's not to disrespect any of the quarterbacks, Mitch, because BYU's had many a quarterback over the years who were not highly recruited and exceeded expectations. But they've also had throughout, especially the past 25, 30 years, they've also had a steady flow of highly recruited quarterbacks. Not all of them have worked out. In fact, very few of them have, right? Like Jake Heaps, that did not work out, right? Jacob Conover, that did not work out.
Tanner Mangum worked out for a year, but didn't work out.
Probably didn't work out. Taysom Hill was highly recruited. That worked out just great. But there's always been somebody down the road that you can kind of look to. Who is that going to be? And I do think that hurts BYU a little bit just because you don't know down the road who can lead you to the promised land. And that is an unfamiliar territory, and that is a place, Mitch, that Aaron Roderick has to solve and figure out quickly because it can't just be a rotating door of Gary Bohannon's and McKay Hillstead's. And, hey, those guys may end up being great quarterbacks. That's entirely possible. But as we know in the world of BYU, you're always wondering, where's the next Olsen? Where's the next Tanner McKee? I know he didn't come to BYU, but that dude has always been out there, and they got to get back to that sooner rather than later. Preferably, it's Retzlaff for these 2 years. Then I think you go to Hillstead for a couple years. Who is that next guy? I know they just got a recent commitment, but is that going to be the guy that gets you excited for the next wave of BYU football? I don't know. But it's just, when you're reeling off the names in the future, I'm like, it feels unsettling, the future of the quarterback room. It's hard to get a true grasp of where it's going to be long term.
It is, because there's no blue chip prospect right now. It's all developmental. And more than ever, you need the blue chips because at that position, because the training that these guys get in high school and the quarterback coaches they work with, they're ready to go. They're ready to perform and compete right away.
Like that Nebraska QB, the freshman Raiola.
You get Dylan Raiola. Look what that's doing just from the image of Nebraska. They've had 7 straight years of losing seasons.
Right.
But you think like, this could be an 8-9 win team at Nebraska in an 18-team Big 12 or Big 10 that has Oregon, USC, UCLA, and Washington. So, the quarterback position is critical, and it's the piece that will answer all of BYU's issues. And that's why, in many respects, I feel like it's very tough for BYU to hand the keys to Bohannon this year because Bohannon is just this year and that's it. And I think that Bohannon's ceiling, Retzlaff could achieve that, or McKay Hillstead could achieve that, or maybe to a lesser degree, Trayson Bourget could achieve that. Because I think in the best case scenario with Bohannon, he's getting you 6 or 7. I think Jake Retzlaff, if he's avoiding the catastrophic turnovers, could get you 6 or 7, and that's better serving the program at large because then you've got momentum. Because if you go with Bohannon, it's a reset again, and you're probably, I don't know if you'd lose Retzlaff, but you might have some personnel moving on and saying, I'm out on this then. So it's a fascinating deal. BYU needs answers immediately at quarterback, and ideally when they hit the ground running on July 31st at the fall camp, you hope that they know who that quarterback's going to be. I don't think they're going to announce it until snap 1. I think
they won't announce it at all. It'll be whoever trots.
And
onto the
honestly,
field.
I think they should this year. I think they should wait until the last absolute moment because
never make an announcement. Just whoever trots out, snap one. That's the guy.
well, internally you have it. Maybe I don't know when you do it, when the right spot, but I think there needs to be competition up until that first snap. Usually I'd say get it 2 weeks before. This year, I think you let the competition go up until the last moment you can.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let's take a break. Let's talk the quarterback position a little bit more. It's just so fascinating. It feels like the success of the season really hinges on that quarterback position. We'll do that next.